So you can see the cycle, roughly. There's not enough trees. Your point there, yes, I have to calculate how many trees provides for my home. One, I'd say I'm getting through 2 trees a night in the winter. That's for 1 year's growth. And so I can then work out how many trees are needed. It's a good calculation. And whizzing down takes a few hours with a little electric solar powered chainsaw, and there's your fuel. And then once it's dry, it just snaps up and goes into the stove. I've got a bag of it out there dry, so we can test on the stove. Brilliant. Alley cropping. This is, I keep these small because I've got 12 metre spacing on this system. Bigger trees, you're going on to longer rotations, you can have bigger spacing if you have more land, and we can talk about the spacing on when we do the applications later this afternoon. Right, so that's the system. Coppice wood from the alley cropping, going into the stoves, you've all got it now, then returning the biochar. That is full cycle, not cutting down the forest. Another view, looking from above, the coppice has been taken out now. There's a manure pile going on with biochar. These raised beds, no walk, no dig. Walking on the bed, you don't create this and then go walking on it. Because so the biology that made this needs this as its habitat. Okay, the minute you do that, that is no longer the home for that biology. So you get the carbon release of the opportunists instead. You create beautiful soil. Oh, that's a soil amendment. That's a mix of some soil, but it's mostly carbon that's staying put. This group yesterday couldn't help breaking it up. Further down, it's all in big clumps still. So each one of these beds is that. It's got a sprinkle of wood chip on, but you can slide your hand in. Actually, not slide your hand in. There's a pit just there for making biochar, and we'll show you one out there. This is a 2-acre field, just under 2 acres this plot. The field's 2.5 acres. Row of trees, 5 beds. That's a 5-year vegetable rotation. We can play with the rotations later. Then there's another row of trees. These are let's see if I can find a better picture. When you want to zoom in, potatoes are a doddle. That's the one time it gets dug. It's not really the soil I'm digging, it's that amendment. And that's just to plant them, that's when the biochar goes in, because that's what each year I put it in once every 5 years. We'll go back to that one, so then there's another one. So yeah, 5 beds, 5-year rotation, another row of trees which are now cut right down to coppice, another 5 beds, another row of trees. There's a lot of coppice coming off, and those roots of those trees are doing amazing things we'll also talk about later. Right, this is a zooming in on that black soil, so it's just saying, look, you don't really need the fork, you can lift your hand in and lift potatoes out. I used to use a tractor and a potato lifter. No way am I putting a potato lifter on that soil, it's too beautiful the soil. It's so easy without, I know. Yeah, you know, these things rattle and shake and nix out and everything. Easier to just, that's easier. And I'm only growing, I can't compete with the big scale farms, but I have no interest in doing that level of soil carbon release. It's a way, the guys who bred potato seeds didn't have steel. None of these root crops, they offer anything. You can slide your hand in. Slide your hand into the set. That's a celeriac. You can see little bits of biochar. The bits of wood chip, because I've put that on as a protection, but generally that's a mulch that hasn't decomposed in 6 years of intensive heavy cropping.
So with the biochar, do you keep adding in more each year
no,
on the top?
No, a small amount to a point. You don't need. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But I don't do it all in one go, because then you'd have to produce a whole load of heat in one go, and you'd have no use. So in a charcoal kiln, you put 3 tons of wood in, and out of that you're going to get 600 kilos of charcoal if you're lucky, and the other, it's gone in the sky as pollution, as wasted heat, because it's too much heat production to capture.
So you only, what I'm asking, so you only
yes, I'm putting in what I use, because instead of making one batch, I want to make my life carbon negative, my footprint on this earth, so I am healing the earth, not burning fossil fuels and then suddenly wasting a load of heat.
So what do you do with the excess biochar that you're creating every day?
Well, it's no excess at the moment. I'm still building this 2 acres.
Okay.
I've been doing this for 6 years, and I've been putting in a wheelbarrow a week. And I do make little bits extra in a pit from other people's brambles. And anything, I do sell some, but I won't sell it. But I'd rather sell the idea, give the idea and sell a stove than sell the biochar, so somebody else is then empowered to reverse their footprint, to reverse their carbon footprint. Because if you're, Craig Sands is selling it, Carbon Gold, I'm not going to criticise, but it's coming from Africa somewhere. and it's £9 a kilo, and I like that. Because my stove system it's a money printer. It's turning a worthless something that's worth very low value, wood chips and sticks, into something of very high value. And that's the way most people think. Oh, what, your stove is printing £50 a day? That doesn't do it in my head, but that does it for most people. That's usually the clinch. Turning something worth nothing into something worth a lot of money. But yeah, I'm still adding because at the moment I'm skint. I need money, but I'm more interested in my soil, and I know what's coming. I know where we're going, and I know how quickly we're going there. And it's just simply, it's not being depressing. It's just not having to remain in denial because I know the solution, so I don't need to stay in denial. So I have a clearer vision than people whose job it is to destroy the planet, so they have to be in denial.